Today is Thursday, September 1st. This is the 1971 to 1976 Cadillac Eldorado convertible gearbox actuators for the convertible top from 1971 to 1976. These units have been completely disassembled and rebuilt. The gears have been cryogenically treated and the dimensional integrity increased by 4 thousandths for the primary, secondary, and tertiary gears. So that gives us 8 thousandths of an inch additional fitment in between the gears in order to maintain and return back to the original specifications in terms of torque integrity between the gears. So in these gear actuating boxes, what we have is high torque developed through a worm-driven pinion, and that engages the sprockets of the primary, secondary, and tertiary gear, and that transmission of forces provides excessive torque to the swing pivot arm that actuates the convertible top. So I've got the two units completely rebuilt, and this is video number 2 out of a 2-video set. In this particular unit here, I've left out the worm pinion in order to show how free-flowing the gears are. We can look inside and we can see the gears. If we zoom in there a little bit, we can see beautiful, easy motion, one finger actuation. Okay, and when we have the worm pinion installed, we don't have that free-flowing motion because the transmission delivery of torque and power begins with the worm-driven pin. So the worm-driven pinion is what provides the initial rotational kinematic forces that increases by an order of magnitude as we go from the primary to the secondary to the tertiary gear. So in a lot of situations where you have the motors burning up, where you have a very, very slow raising and lowering of the convertible top, it's primarily because these particular gearbox actuators have gotten worn out and they no longer provide the original, in accordance with the original specification, the torque required in order to facilitate free-flowing kinematic motion of the scissor top mechanism of the convertible top. Okay, this will also manifest itself not just in very slow or almost stalling motion of the convertible top, but also burning of the motor and other problematic issues will arise. It's a cascading effect of failure, essentially. So these units are often neglected. People will change the motors and they'll still not have the original movement of the convertible top in accordance with how fast it opens or closes, and they don't know why, and it's because these gearbox actuators have failed over the course of time, where the gears have gotten wore out and they no longer have the interference fitment between the primary, secondary, and tertiary gear. Okay, so the worm drive pinions have been replaced with new ones, and as I said, we've cryogenically treated and increased the dimensional integrity by 4 thousandths of each of the gear sprockets, so we now have returned back to the original specification with full torque delivery. When we have full torque delivery, you're not going to have the free-flowing motion of the arm, okay, like we have in this particular example where the worm pinion has been removed for purposes of this demonstration, because the forces are unidirectional and not bidirectional. Okay, so we're talking about a compounding, ever-increasing, order of magnitude increasing forces, okay, first to second to third, and a multiplication of those forces, all of which are originating from the worm pinion drive. Okay, so it doesn't work backwards. If it works in reverse, we're going to have a stiff arm. Okay, and that's the way it's supposed to be. So we only want to be actuating from the worm pinions. So I'm going to go ahead and apply power. I'll go ahead and get a drill with a square drive that I have right here, and I'm going to apply power, and we'll be looking at the motion. And now we'll go ahead and I'll reverse. Okay, and this is a high velocity, this is a high torque, low velocity drive in order to provide maximum power for the raising and lowering of the convertible top. So this is George in Florida. Today is Thursday, September 1st. I have over 75,000 original vintage parts for the 1967 to 1978 Cadillac Eldorados, over 375,000 1959 to 1978 Cadillac items overall. I'm best known for my restoration of the Cadillac steering wheels, the tilt and telescopic steering columns, the power seat mechanisms, the instrument clusters, and other critical, hard to source, original vintage Cadillac items. Today's Thursday, September 1st. This is George in Florida. Thank you very kindly.